As always, if you want to check out the original video or the creator's channel, feel free to do so. I'll leave links in the description down below. Enjoy the video.
Based on initial estimates, no, there is not a limit to how many train cars you can put on this thing. Like, it's kind of hard to see because it's just more cacophony in here. I mean, I just kept connecting and connecting them, and I think I've got like 146 before I gave up. Because there's a point where I want to keep adding them.
So this should be entertaining. So to preface this, I have watched this YouTuber one other time, but it's been a long time since I've watched it. The YouTuber is Let's Game It Out. The original video I watched, I believe, was on a gas station simulator type thing, and he kind of just entirely broke the game. But the last time I did that, I made it a try not to laugh challenge. It's very difficult. And so I'm going to do the same thing today. But I'm reacting to a different video this time. Because I'm reacting to him using trains to create absolute mayhem in Satisfactory. This should be fun. You guys know the usual spiel. Check the description for the video and whatnot. And, yeah. Let's just jump into this, shall we?
Hey there, it's Josh. Welcome back to Let's Game It Out. We're playing Satisfactory today. My favorite factory game that's all about excess. Like, you could build a normal factory, but why? When you can make abominations like this. And then when this base gets completely out of control, you can slide your way across the map and make something even more wild. But that's really the beauty of this game, is take something and make it beautiful in your own way. Like, it gives you stuff like drones, which are used for transporting items, or you can make hundreds of them, slap explosives all over them, and then send them all across the map and pretend you're in Top Gun. Watch your six! Oh, and also I sent them all to try and land on one platform, so now they're just waiting forever. A beautiful column of drones into the sky. Anyway, welcome to Satisfactory, where everything in my base is a mess, and in this video we're gonna try and make that better. Spoiler, we're gonna make it worse. While that's all cementing in your brain, let me tell you about today's sponsor. I've partnered with Paradox.
No sponsorships.
Which will take you where you need to go to get Skylines is find a way to get these beautiful floats. Paradox for sponsor. I'm sure the game, our first major thing, that City Skylines is a blast. And thanks again to Paradox for sponsoring. So our first major thing we have to do is find a way to get all of these resources from this base, and we're gonna move it over here to something new. Specifically, these beautiful floating platforms. I mean, look at all the lush landscape here. We've got platforms to put stuff, we've got waterfalls, and we've also got all kinds of flora to destroy. Who said you could grow in my new base?
Honestly,
but don't worry, we have a tried and true solution for that. What do you think of this tree? Well,
I was about to say
much better. And I haven't forgot about you pesky leaves. Everybody gets a piece. But there's so much of this to take out. That's okay. I think I have a solution for how to take care of this stuff quickly. It's called explosives. First things first, we gotta do a quick test. I realize this doesn't seem like it'll pack a punch, but it should be enough to take care of this little old tree. Here goes nothing. Yep, that sure worked a treat, didn't it? Well, I think we know what needs to happen now. We gotta put these things all over the place. There's plenty to go around. You know, I kinda have to wonder, is this overkill for one plant? Like, I could just walk up and do this to all of those. But who wants to do landscaping with their hands? Anyway, I'm sure that this will be enough. We've got explosives in pretty much everything. Too many? No such thing. And it's not just up here either. We've also rigged everything down here. These trees are gonna be no match for all these explosives. Anyway, here goes nothing. Yeah, take that, all you individual little bushes. Uh-oh, did I miss one? Just kidding. Aw, see, now this is what progress looks like. If by progress we mean combusting everything not nailed down. Yep, that'll about do it. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know, because it turns out some of this foliage is permanent. But that's okay. Anyway, now that we have all this emptied out space, it's time to bring our stuff over. Starting with our desert base, because it's closer. And in case you're wondering, what are we gonna do with all of these drones? Are we gonna use them for beautiful transporting? And the answer answer is no.
No,
what I'm trying to say is this thing is like a monument now. So there's no way we're touching it. That, and honestly, it doesn't matter where in the world you are. All you need to do is look to the sky, and there's Drone-tasia just waiting for you. So you're probably wondering, if not the drones, how are we going to transport all of this stuff? Because, oh boy, is there a lot. You know, like these things, and all of this stuff. But don't you worry, the solution is right in front of us. It's called a tractor. So versatile, so bulky, and we're going to use it to get over this ridge right here. And it's not going to be as easy as just hopping in and driving this thing over everything. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's pretty good at handling some of this, but we can't possibly ask it to handle all of this, can we? Wait, or can we? Easy.
I don't think you can.
Just watch your head, buddy. Nope, I take it back. We are nice and stuck. And it's not like we can just start it even closer, because there's no way it's going to be able to traverse all this stuff. But that's okay, we're going to employ the use of another friend. Do you remember these? Jump pads. Here's a refresher in case you don't remember. That's it. They launch you. But the one thing I don't know for sure is if we can use trucks on these. So let's give it a shot and find out.
Let's just find out, nothing. Just mess around and find out.
Timbers, it does work. Well, this gives me an idea. If we can get it to bounce off one like that, then why not more? You get to set their overall trajectory, and you can adjust that any way you want. So if I move this so that it's basically going to land right here, and then I take another one and I place it here, so that whatever's flying off of this first pad will fly right into the air and then land on this one, and then will it bounce up and fly all the way over there? Only one way to find out. Here goes landing on one. All right, let's see if it lands on two. Oh my goodness, it sure does. Well, I'm sure we can see where this is gonna go, right? All we need to do is put a bunch of these things all around over here so that they can get us up there. This shouldn't be hard at all. We can just build foundations and then put our little jump pads on these, positioning them in such a way so that we have a good place to put the next one. And then once that one's in position, we just go ahead and set up for the next one. And we know where it's gonna land, and then so on and so forth. And okay, hold please.
Okay, hold please.
Okay, so I was working on these for a while, and oh boy, all the things I have to show for it. So many jump pads. I wish this jump pad business was an Olympic sport, because I would definitely get like bronze or like 4th place. Anyway, let me get to the starting point so you can experience the whole thing as it was meant to be experienced. So here's basically how it works. We get in this truck, and then we go down to this first jump pad, and once we do that, it bounces up to here, and then it goes up to here, and then this bounces you farther and farther, and you get the idea. Will this actually work? Only one way to find out. Let's go.
Just wanted to find out.
Mission successful on the first couple of bounces, leading up to these bounce pads that should propel us forward. And oh boy, do we have a journey ahead of us. But the good news is my horn works. Yeehaw! Well, got a little off kilter there, but it looks like we're back on. Whoa. As you can see, this is an exact science. What a lovely new way to experience all the ins and outs, the nooks and crannies of this base. Oh my god, it's going so well so far.
You had to say something,
that'll teach me to say anything. And attempt number 2. Much cleaner liftoff this time. I have high confidence. Look how we're landing on each one of those pads. Whee! You know, and you can say what you want, but you sure can't beat these views. Uh-oh. Looks like that's it for us. Nope, no, it's not. It only took 2 tries, but we made it up. Yep, the system is perfect. And before you know it, we're catapulting across these beautiful canyons. It couldn't be more simple, except for that one that I really didn't think we were going to make. I would like to take this opportunity to mention that I cannot believe this is working at all.
Yeah, this is impressive.
Well, that's what I get for saying that. Okay,
you never say something like that.
And then we bounce off the thing, and then it's like, oops, so it makes it after all. Things are going great. I don't know this for sure, but I think one of the challenges is, especially with a vehicle, it's not an exact science. But also, frame rate might play a role in that. But if there's one thing I can tell you, my frame rate is anything but stable. That doesn't mean I'm not confident we can eventually get this.
I can only imagine why.
This is the farthest we've ever, never mind.
Oh, well.
Oh my god, I think this might be the one. I think we might make it to the next section. Look at all these successful bounces. Life is beautiful. I set up all of these bounce pads, and for what? This moment, that's what. Look, the finish line. We can see it. Nail it. Oh my god, we're gonna do it.
No.
Close enough. Okay, so I think we can agree that this is not going according to plan. And like you, I had a dream of trucks just flying fancy-free through the sky. But I think this was probably never meant to be, and I'll show you why. I'm watching this thing from far away, and at a point, something seems to happen. Now, I know from back here, it looks like it's fine, right? Looks like it's just hanging out on something. Oh, but that's not the case. It's just frozen in midair. And then as we get closer to it, it just falls right out of the sky. Which leads me to believe that even if we got this working the way we would like it to, there's no way we can automate it. Because if we step too far away from the trucks, they won't keep going. And we can't ride every truck to the end. Oh, but don't you worry, we've got a backup plan. But before we move on, we gotta test one thing. We gotta test to see what happens when we launch one of these guys. What's wrong, little guy? Why are you so... Oh, no, you don't. Get back here. Where are you going? Hey, where are you going? I said, where are you going?
He's running for his life.
Run straight to the bounce pads. Ah, there we go. Fly free, little guy. It's for science. Oh, it's probably fine, right? Don't worry, I'm sure he's just sleeping all the way down this dune. In conclusion, it seems like it worked really well. Anyway, we still need a good solution for transporting all these materials, and I think this is going to be the solution. It's another train station. Station 25. We can do better than that. Okay, Let's see, I want to say sand and successful. Wait, stop right there. Sand cessful. Wait, still not done. Sand cesspool. Yay, we did it. We got there. So we've used trains before, not really to actually transport anything. Back in our old base, we actually have a bunch of trains rolling around right now. They're legitimately here solely to generate electricity, which causes these nuclear plants over here to actually work. Because if they have no reason to generate energy, they won't. And if they're not generating electricity, then they're not generating toxic waste. And if we're not taking steps to ruin every part of the environment, what's the point? Anyway, all that to say, back over at this base, we've never tried to use trains for good. I'm not going to miss an opportunity to build a bunch of rails. Especially because where we're building them could use a little more beautifying, don't you think? I know I do. Oh boy, I'm so excited. Especially because I know this will be easy to do and take no time at all. And connected. Well, that was easy. I'm kind of showing you the end first, but here we are at our station. Why am I like this? Or as I like to pronounce it, yummy, like this. So this thing here is where our trains will eventually end up. And by that, I mean there are rails everywhere. Coming from the station, going over cliff sides, impossible loops that don't really make sense, and then, you know, all kinds of stuff. This part probably wasn't necessary to get the job done, but boy, it sure is fun. And it doesn't really improve once we get to the main mess. You can kind of tell which ones for trains and which aren't, because the train ones are just a lot bigger. Either way, before we mess with these any further, let's head back to our starting platform and make sure this thing works at all. Now, leaving station sand cesspool. So the first part of this journey is real obvious and easy. We pick up great speed as we enter the big avalanche of stuff. I like to think of this as the world's weirdest roller coaster, full of twists and turns, clipping through the rock face entirely. Beautiful. In general, just a whole lot of completely unnecessary twists and turns. But really, what would the point be if it were straightforward? Besides, this gives you a chance to take in all these glorious views, and then eventually you find yourself on the other side. And thank goodness there's no clipping, because I can just build these rails over rails. What a space-saving convenience, with probably no consequences whatsoever. And then before you know it, we arrive at the other station safe and sound. Yummy like this indeed. And if this train were pulling cargo behind it, this little claw thing would unload it before the train goes back on its way. So let's go ahead and finish this track so the whole thing is one solid loop of amazing cargo management. Besides, you saw how quickly we did it the first time. This won't take long at all.
No, of course not.
And then before you know it, ta-da! Track is complete. Voila. Excellent. Setting up this behemoth of rails and other crap only took a mere 4 hours. Good God. I mean, the good news is I didn't know that this base could get any weirder looking, but it turns out there's always room to improve. So let's pretend you're this up-and-coming rail car just about to pull into the station. Now you can just keep going and have yourself the return journey of a lifetime, commingling with all these conveyor belts in the most claustrophobic way possible. Wow, what a palate cleanser.
Yeah, that would be very claustrophobic.
I'm home. Round trip only took 10 whole minutes. What a thrill ride. Now that the train tracks are all set, the next thing we need to do, we need to take all these materials here that are currently just waiting for something to happen to them, and we need to funnel them all the way back over to the train station. So first things first, I'm adding a freight platform, which if we come around to the other side, we can see that it's got ports for us to feed in the goods. That's where the supplies go to get on the train. So first we're going to build a bunch of these things. Snazzy giant containers. Now these two on the right are for receiving items. We're not going to need those because we're only only sending stuff out from here, which means connecting this container over to this thingamabob here. And same with the bottom one for basically no reason. There we go. The conveyor belts are running and hungry for supplies. So basically, previously, we had all of these supplies funneled through one belt already, which is this one right here. Instead, we're going to run these supplies over to that container that we set up. There we go. Now supplies go in, and on the other side, they pile out, conveniently going into our cargo thingamabob so that we can more easily transport everything. What a lovely system we've made for ourselves. Now, the next step is we need to add a freight car, like that. That way, the train's going to pull into the station, deliver to us some sweet, sweet cargo, and then off it goes for a magical journey. And it sure is hauling ass with that cargo. What a harrowing journey it must be going on. And then before you know it, here comes our bountiful cargo. Choo choo. Quickly, use your grippy fingers to take that off my hands. And just like that, glorious supplies. And then the train starts its journey home to get another haul. Well, if one thingy of cargo is good, surely more is better, right? I mean, really, how many of these can we add? Because I'm just gonna keep going until it stops me. So based on initial estimates, no, there is not a limit to how many train cars you can put on this thing. Like, it's kind of hard to see because it's just more cacophony in here. I mean, I just kept connecting and connecting them. And I think I've got like 146 before I gave up. Because there's a point where I want to keep adding them. But when you get too deep into this stuff, you just can't see anything. So I guess let's see how this does. Hi-ho Silver. All of this goodness slowly pulling into the station. And go ahead and load cargo container number 1. Oopsie daisy, drop it a little forcefully, see if I care. And now moving on to the next one. Or not.
It only works for
one. You're just gonna take the one, huh? Oh, silly me. I didn't set up the station correctly. I selected one load and unload, not all of them like I was supposed to. Well, it's still not stopping, but I think that's probably okay.
Yeah, that's
fine. I kind of like the idea of using all of this freight, all for just one cargo container, followed by 8 bajillion empty ones. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I feel like this is the right way to do it. I mean, he's impressed.
I don't think he is.
Really impressed. And honestly, so far, so good. It's just slowly making its way downtown. Yeah, just shove that out of the way. It's of no concern to you. It failed where you're succeeding. Come on, you can do it. Push. Come on, pick up some speed. Would these drones say no? I don't think so. They keep climbing. I don't care that you're pulling 8 bajillion cars behind you. I expect you to accomplish the impossible. Oh yeah, definitely the optimal way to be transporting goods. At 1/1,000,000th a mile an hour. Strike that. 0. Are you telling me there are consequences to this? Well, this is stupid. Can't I, like, get behind it and push or something? Hey, wait a minute. This gives me an idea. I will just give it a little push with my own rail. Okay, now remember, all we need to do is give it a little push. Watch out, help coming through. Oh. It would appear we've caused a minor derailment. I mean, most of it's still on the tracks. And the important part is the head of the train felt nothing at all. And is still not moving. What if I send another train in? What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, that.
Yep, went about as well as expected. Okay,
I mean, you know what? I have kind of an idea.
So this is the thing that's stuck. There's got to be some way to move this, and I think I might have just the idea. Is it possible that we can use jump pads for this? So let's go ahead and put a platform, and then a jump pad. And now with this thing ready to operate, all we need to do is give this a little push. This is going to be easy. So all I'm going to do is set up a rail that's going to go right into this train car. And in theory, if we hit it just right, it should roll back onto this bounce pad and do a little something like this. Couldn't be more simple. But to give this rail some impact, we got to give it a really long running start. How long, you wonder? How about a little something like this? You know, something that goes up and up and up and up. And at the end of it all, there's a train up here, just waiting for liftoff. We're so high up, in fact, that we're eye level with our hyper cannon. And also so high up that we're up here with the fog where the air is thinner. So the question is, once we get up there and pilot this interstellar craft, how fast do we think it's gonna go? Well, let's see. Down the hill we go. Okay, so currently we're building speed, just rounding 200 kilometers an hour. Still climbing. Time to collide. But why? I was only going at the speed of light. Okay, what if we nudge it a little bit nicer? Well, that one down there sure felt it. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case that this thing can interact with the jump pad. But that doesn't mean I don't have some other ideas. Like, if we put a ramp right here, what do we think will happen? Well, let's see. Well, that was pretty good, but not all the way to the other station good. All right, I got one more idea. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we have to try. Maybe what we need is to give it a nice little nudge. There we go. We built like a crappy little tunnel. And if all goes according to plan, this thing will sail right inside it. Oh, how I love doing research with giant multi-ton death machines. Hey, look, it made it, even though we didn't. Well, that seems to have done the trick. And now we're gonna see if we can try something else. We're gonna run this rail right through it, and we're gonna see if we put a train down right here, if when we drive this thing, we can just nudge it. And oh boy, we sure can, kinda. I think you can probably see where this is going, right? That's right, we're gonna build a much larger tunnel than that. We're gonna drag it all the way there. Now, we can't do it by hand because the thing has no cohesion. And we can't use the vehicles because that also doesn't work. So train tracks it is. So you have to use the train. Ah, yeah, there it goes. Just a quick nudge up an otherwise really long corridor. Easy. Come on, we're just gonna keep on pushing it. Come on, come with me. That's right, keep on pushing. This is not how I thought this would work, but I'm sure happy it is. And then before you know it, we're at the very end of the tracks, and off it goes.
Whee!
I'm sure it's fine. Wow, look at that landing. That almost couldn't be more perfect. This is where it would have ended up anyway. Wait a minute, what the hell is this? How did you guys get in there? Oh, this simply won't do. Now look, I know the cargo basically made it here, but it looks like we've got some cleaning up to do. Yeah, run from me. So I hope you enjoyed what we did here. There's a lot more to come, but we're gonna cap it for now. So I hope you had fun. I know I did, and I'm about to. Hey, now that you've got some free time, why don't you go check out City Skylines? You can check it out for free right now. That is, if it's between November 10th and the 14th, 2022. But hey, you never know. Just go look it up on Steam. Maybe it's on sale right now.
This came out a long time ago.
Anyway. You don't know. Anyway, stay tuned for more Satisfactory, and I'll see you next time. Get over.
Now, I'm pausing the video here. I'm not letting it... I apparently paused it right at the end of the video. Screw you, Game It Out. I'm not letting you kill that poor little thing. Anyway. Honestly, that was much easier of a challenge than I thought. I remember nearly breaking several times at the last video that I reacted to over on the main channel. But, I don't know, maybe it's just that I'm tired. Because I did just get off of work so that I could record a video to upload. Technically later today. And for those of you who need to know, okay, it's actually not as late as I thought it would be. It's only 12, like, it's not even 12:30 yet, but still. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. What the flip happened to my speech there? I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. Also, I'm free to laugh now. The challenge has ended because the video has ended. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, definitely smash that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. And, yeah, let me know what other stuff you want me to react to. Hope you guys have a safe and fantastic rest of your day. And I'll see you all in the next video. Adios, amigos.